everybody, and welcome to the Mighty Matt Podcast. I'm excited to welcome my guest, Bryan Williams, today. It's been really hot here in Los Angeles, so I wanted to get my son Frank out on the water and decided to find a place to rent a jet ski. After a quick search, I found PPF Jet Skis and discovered the owner, Bryan, was in a wheelchair. So we went out and had a blast last Saturday, and I wanted to learn more about his story. So I'm proud to welcome my new buddy, Bryan. How's it going, man?
And it's going good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for having me.
So I thought we'd kick it off. Tell me when you became mighty.
Ooh, man, I came mighty when I came out of the womb.
That's it. That's what I like to
hear. That's when it really started.
That's it.
But no, I suffered a spinal cord injury in 2008, and I was on a motorcycle coming down a residential street, and it had a curve at the end. I took the curve too fast. Once I took that curve too fast, I kind of just turned my head while I was still in motion. And when I turned back, I panicked because there was a curve right there.
Yep.
So when I panicked, I slammed on the front brake super hard. I don't know why I hit that front brake. I never use the front brake. It's always that right leg.
Yeah.
And I looked down, and the back end of the bike was up. So I looked down at the front of the tire, and I see the speedometer says 42 miles an hour.
Oh.
So eventually it just took me over the handlebars, and my back landed on the edge of the curve and just completely snapped my spine in half. Yeah. So I don't remember being thrown off the bike. So my helmet, my head just directly hit into the concrete. So my helmet split down the middle. The right part of my jaw, right side of my jaw snapped in half. It cracked the helmet cracked on the left side, so it snapped my jaw. Yeah. But if I would have had that helmet on, I wouldn't have been here.
That's a lesson for everybody.
Come on, split down the middle. Like if you're riding a bike, always wear your helmet.
Yeah, keep that helmet on. So what's the first thing you remember after the accident?
The first thing I remember, the very first thing, so I was unconscious for a split second. That's why I don't remember being thrown from the bike. So I remember laying on the ground, and I was leaving a friend's house of mine at that moment, and they seen the accident. So I'm laying on the ground.
Yep.
And I just remember hearing her uncle, he's holding my head like, B, don't move. Don't move. And I'm like, I can't move. So I started to try to come up.
Yep.
But I couldn't raise my upper body.
Man.
And me not having the knowledge of knowing what's actually going on, not realizing that I'm paralyzed, I didn't know anything about the spine at that moment.
Sure.
So I'm just laying there on the ground on the concrete, and I looked to my right, and I kind of just felt something in my throat, or trying to go down my throat, down my tongue, back to the back of my throat, and it was a tooth that I knocked out. I knocked the tooth out. I bit my tongue in half. I had to sew my tongue back on. So I ended up spitting the tooth out, but a lot of blood came out too as well. So, and then a young lady house that I was leaving, I look at her and she's screaming and hollering and
I bet
crying. And so now I'm more like, this is serious. I did something. And I'm just saying to myself, what did I do? What did I do? I remember saying it to myself mentally. What did I do? What did I do? What did I do? I really had no clue what I did.
Sure.
I just remember looking at the speedometer because I don't remember being thrown from a bike. So that's why I don't remember that part.
Yep.
Yeah, that was my first initial thoughts. And at the top of on top of that, my younger brother was getting ready to come and visit me.
Yep.
Because I was getting ready to go off on a football scholarship, and I had 2 or 3 more weeks remaining in California until I had to leave. And the only thing I could think of was I need to get up because my brother's coming.
Yeah.
Let me get up. Let me get up. My brother's coming. Let me get up. I got to get up from here.
Yeah.
Wasn't budging, couldn't get up, couldn't move. So she's crying, she's frantic. I'm just like, you know what? I did something. I don't know what I did wrong, but I did something. So the ambulance came and they put me in the back of the ambulance.
Yep.
And I remember the guy that was putting the oxygen mask on over my mouth.
Yep.
He slightly just kind of moved, and I'm like, don't go nowhere. Like, don't move. He's like, nah, I'm just going to get the oxygen mask. You're good. I'm like, all right, cool. I just remember laying there, and I kind of tried to move my legs, but I couldn't move them.
Yeah.
And then I put my hands down on my legs, and I'm like, they're numb.
Oh.
They're numb. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't move them. They're numb. Something is weird. Something isn't right. But again, me not having the knowledge, I don't understand that I broke my back.
Sure.
I said like Mike Tyson, I broke my back.
Yeah.
Yeah, my back was
So
broken.
now, when you got to the hospital, where were you, by the way? Where did the accident happen?
So this happened in Compton off of Greenleaf. So
Okay.
I went to Compton College to play football for 2 years.
Yep.
So it was right in that area. And they transported me to Long Beach Memorial.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, so it's not too far from Compton. So about a good 15, 20 minute stops.
And is that where you did your rehab or?
Yeah, I did my rehab in Long Beach Memorial. So I know a lot of people go to Rancho,
Yep.
but I did mine at Long Beach Memorial. I had some of the best PT and OTs there. I'm still pretty close with, some of those individuals.
That's great.
Yeah, man. So while I was in the hospital, I didn't want to do PT.
Right.
I refused to go. I probably went down a few times, but I was just mentally not there. I was
Sure.
22 years of age. I was confused. I was lost. I was insecure. I was uncertain. I didn't know what I wanted to do, what
Sure.
I should be doing, but I knew for a fact that I didn't want no therapy. I couldn't accept it at that moment,
Yeah.
you know.
Who helped you get through that?
So I had my family came down for a little bit.
Okay.
My mother and my brother and sister, they came down for 4 months. And then my mother had to go back. She had to return to Oklahoma, where we're from. And then my grandmother came down for 7 months.
Yep.
So a total of 1 year of everyone being there for me. My grandmother used to, I remember she used to drive me to therapy and in my
Sure.
car. And my grandmother was a tough cookie.
I
She
bet.
would never allow people to push me in the chair. At that time, I felt like I wanted someone to push me
Yep.
around, and I needed someone around me because I was uncertain on if I fall out of the chair, how am I going to get back into the chair? Or I was really scared to even grab doors, to even try to open a door at a restaurant or to even be seen in public.
Sure.
So yeah, the first year I was just going to therapy and back home,
Yep.
therapy and back home, therapy and back home. And then, I developed bed sores, me not having, the knowledge on, how to stay away from that at that moment. So I did
Sure.
develop two bed sores, within 6 weeks of my injury. That's taken care of. But yeah, it was tough. It was tough. But yeah,
What's
my
your
family,
grandma's name?
Jeanette,
Jeanette. All
Jeanette,
right. We're going to give some
Jeanette.
love to Jeanette, man, because it sounds
Exactly.
like she got you on the right path.
Yeah, she did, man. She did. It's funny now that she lives with me. I'm taking care of her now.
That's
You
sweet.
know,
That's great.
yeah, man, that's a whole nother story, but it's a blessing,
Yeah.
So she raised me and changed my diapers when I was a youngin,
Yeah.
and then the first beginning stages of my injury was doing the same thing, until I could figure things out,
That's so great.
So
Now, when you started to figure things out and have the confidence to get your life started again, what were some of the first things you did?
the simplest things, man, was just going outside.
Yep.
Just going outside. I would not, if I was not going to therapy, I didn't want to go anywhere else. So I
Yep.
had a good buddy of mine. His name is Kyle Parrish. He, really good. It's like a brother. He passed away, a couple of years ago.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. He was the only person that would get me out the house. He could get me out the house.
Really? Nice.
So he was my quarterback when I played football at Compton College.
Yep.
So we were really close. I was a receiver. He was my quarterback. He's the one throwing me the ball.
Nice. Yep.
So we had that bond, the chemistry. So he went off to Ferris State. When he came back, he heard about the news and he was like, "Hey, B, we gotta get out the house." I'm like, "No, I'm
Yeah.
not." He's like, "Bro, like you can't stay cooped up in this house all day."
Yeah.
So I'm 22, turning 23, and I'm like, man, it is what it is. I'm not really understanding yet. I still can accept the fact of me being paralyzed. So he was like, let's get out the house. I'm like, you know what? Cool. So I got into gas remote control cars,
Oh, okay. Cool. Nice.
nitro RC cars. Yeah. So I got my first nitro RC car, and the only way I would go get out the house if he would have come pick me up
Yep.
and take me to the park, and we'll just run those RC cars for hours.
Sweet.
So that's till this day, that is my thing that I do that kind of just stimulates me,
Yeah. It gets you out.
so
That's great.
yeah, yeah. So that's one thing that got me out the house is for one, my boy KP, but
Yep.
just knowing that hey, I'm able to do something and stimulate my mind.
When did you get exposed to adaptive sports or start going to the gym for the first time?
I probably got back in the gym around 2010, what was that? I had my injury 2008. So probably about 2010, I want to
Okay.
say. So I was doing therapy at Lowman Memorial, and then I started doing some outpatient therapy at Precision Rehab with Christy, which she's amazing, man, at Precision
Cool.
Rehab. Amazing. I started doing therapy there, and they have some adaptive machines.
Yep.
So I started doing exercises there, like, you know what? Let me just try to get back in a routine. And they told me, hey, you can stay and work out if you want to. It's totally up to you.
Nice.
I'm like, okay, cool. I wanted to get back into the gym anyways, get back to what I normally would do.
Yep.
So I started at Precision Rehab, and then I ran into a fella of mine that I know. His name is Adelpo. He had a nice physique when I seen him at the same location because he
Yeah.
was doing
Yeah.
therapy there too as
Was
well.
he disabled or able-bodied?
No, he was disabled. He was in a
Okay.
wheelchair as well. And I seen the guy and I'm like, bro, like you got a little size on you. Like, what are you doing? Yeah,
Yeah.
what do you do? He was like, man, that's wheelchair bodybuilding. And I'm like, huh? He's like, yeah, they have a sport for us competitors in wheelchairs.
Nice.
I like, man, give me your contact. Give me your contact.
That's right.
I need that. Give me your contact. So he gave me his contact, kind of educated me on, the wheelchair bodybuilding,
Yep.
exposed me to some things, and it snowballed from there, and I did my first show in 2013 and got my pro card in 2014, and then did my first pro show in 2018, and I just kind of kept rolling from there,
That is
so right
so
now I'm taking
cool.
off a little time from it. Yeah,
And
yeah,
then,
that's
so what inspired you to open Painful Pleasure Fitness?
the gym. What inspired me to open, well, women,
Yeah.
women,
Honesty is the best policy.
women, women. Just call it what it
I
is.
love it. I love it.
Women. That's probably like the second reason.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But the first reason was, you know what, I needed to get back in the groove of doing something that I already know what to do,
Sure.
that I have a little bit of knowledge on.
Yeah.
But what really inspired me, I'll never forget, when I started going back to 24-hour fitness,
Yep.
I was like, you know what? Let me just try it. I like precision rehab, but I'm ready to
Yeah.
get back to the big gyms. But I was still lacking the confidence,
Sure.
of being the only person in a wheelchair in the room at
Yeah.
that time. So I was like, you know what? I started to go back to 24, and there was this individual, this beautiful, like drop dead gorgeous female
Yep.
that would literally come up to me while I'm in the gym and she's like, hey, you need help transferring or do you need
Right.
help putting weights on the machine? And my confidence at the time was super, super low. And when
Yeah.
she would talk to me, I would just kind of just look and just turn my head and like, no, 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 I'm good.
Yeah. Right.
I'm good. Like, I don't need any help. But this young lady would just keep coming to me every time she would see me, continuously
Sure.
over and over and over. And I'm like, why don't she just leave me alone?
She caught the Bryan fever.
Yeah, just leave me alone, let me work out. Then eventually she kept asking, and one day I was like, you know what? Yeah. Can you dump that 25 on there for me?
Yeah.
Or whatever weights I was using at that moment.
Yep.
She would do it and she would come back, you need help? You need anything else? I'm like, no, I'm okay. It's good. So that snowball, our conversation started to snowball. And she would come and I start to get a little more comfortable with her because
Sure.
of how she was presenting herself. So it just snowballed from there. I kept working out, and eventually one day I seen her doing an exercise, and I was like, "Hey, like try it this way."
Yep.
And she was like, "Oh, okay." And then she would come back later on, like, "Hey, I was doing this exercise. I just wanted you to check out my form to make sure it's correct." I'm like,
Yep.
"All right." So it started to snowball again, and she brought a friend one day and introduced me to her friend. And I'm like, listen, because both of them are
Yeah.
beautiful
Sure.
girls. And so I'm like, and these are women that guys are trying to talk to in the gym. These are the girls that, yeah, that draws that type of attention.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And introduced to a friend. And then I started training both of them. I
That's
started training both
wonderful.
of the girls. And then it went from 2 girls to 3 girls to 4 girls to 15 girls. And I have my own class going on at
Well, that's
24-hour
awesome.
fitness. 24-hour fitness found out that I was training. They approached me and they said, hey, we're going to, cancel your membership. We see that you're training these girls. And when I say these women have my back, they were the 2 girls that I first met were literally like, he's not training us at all. Like, we're
Right.
working out with him. We're not training.
Yeah.
There was no personal training going on. It's like, man, we see. I was like, I don't, is that like, and No one's training over here. Go on about your business.
Yeah.
So I spoke to the manager one on one, and he was like, "Look, bro, like I know what you're doing. You know, your girls can have your back all you want, which is dope, but you're training more clients than my own trainers here."
Yes.
And I was like, "All right, well, so what are you saying? If, do you have this on camera? Do you have this?" He's like, "Yeah, we have it." And I was like, "Show it to me." He's like, "Well, we can't show it to you, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah." And he was like, I said, "Well, listen, man, nothing is ADA accessible for me. So
Right.
there's nothing wrong with no one helping me. Until you guys get something ADA accessible,
Yes, that's
then,
right. That's right. Yeah.
we can have a different." And then once I said that, he was like, "Okay, all right." He's like, "Man, just keep it down." Or, all right, we shook hands,
Yep.
left it at that. So that really initially pushed me to like, you know what? I need to get my own location.
Absolutely.
I need to get my own spot. So I sought out to really pursue that, and I pursued it after I had, surgeries for my wounds.
Yep.
I went ahead and made that happen.
That's
So
great. Now, did you get any special loans or assistance based on your disability to open the gym or
no,
no?
no, no, I didn't. No, I didn't. And I didn't, what's funny? I didn't even know anything about that until
Yeah.
later on, till later on. So it was just grind, 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 sacrifice, sacrifice, sacrifice.
That's
So,
awesome.
when I knew that I wanted my gym, it was just, it's always been me here in California by myself. So my family went back,
Yep.
months into it. So I've always been here alone, so I make the sacrifice and I moved out of my apartment, and I got to the point to where I had a Honda Accord.
Yep.
I slept in a Honda Accord. It was a 2000 Honda Accord. I slept in there for about 10 months.
My God.
Yeah. So I was
Don't
just
even
saving the
upgrade it
money.
because I've seen your dope ride now.
Yeah, yeah, it's different now. But at that time, I make the sacrifices. Like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm paying at that time in 2009, 2010, rent for one bedroom was 1200 at that
Yep.
time. So you'll never find that again in California now. So my rent was 1200, so I was still paying myself 1200 on top of what I was receiving for the clients, and I just kept saving, 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 saving. Phone.
So you were saving. Now, was that for the first location or?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, that was for the first location. So initially, I was at Cal State Dominguez.
Yep.
I went to Cal State Dominguez, and my specialist for the wounds is like, "Hey, like we're gonna have to do surgery, but if we do surgery, you're gonna have to be off your bottom for 8 weeks
Right.
total." So, and I had probably about one more year at Dominguez to
Yep.
finish on my bachelor's. So I was like, you know what? Let's just wait till after,
Yep.
then we can knock it out. So I did that. He knocked out one side. 2 weeks later, did the other side. And then I went to a nursing skill facility. I was in a nursing home for
Yep.
8 weeks.
Okay.
It's like either you can go home and have someone come in and help, or you can go to a skill facility.
Right.
And I'm like, well, I really don't have anyone that's going to help me with that. So let me just go to a skill facility,
Yep.
which was a good experience, being
Sure.
around 60, 70, 80-year-olds, some 90s, having conversations with them and listening to, their wisdom.
That's great.
It wasn't too bad, So I was in a skill facility for 8 weeks after my surgery. That's when I moved out of my apartment at
Yep.
that time. I was dating a nurse at that time. Me and her were living together.
Yep.
It didn't work. So after that situation, it did not work. I was like, you know what? Forget trying to coexist with someone. Let me just make the sacrifice on my own.
Yep.
So and that's when I decided to like, you know what? I'll just take a shower, 24-hour fitness. I was like,
Yep.
you know what? I'm gonna just take showers at 24-hour fitness.
Yeah.
And then my last client is at 10 o'clock at night anyways. So I just hop in my car, go around the corner, find a spot, I close my eyes. If the light is not beaming or shining on me, cool. I wake up at 5 a.m. and do it again.
My
So
God.
I did that for 10 months before I got my location. I slept in that location for 3 months.
Yep.
So I had like this air mattress. I had this air mattress that I would like no one knew. No one
Yeah.
knew about this. I would blow the air mattress up. I would close the gate, close everything
Yep.
after I'm done for the night, blow it up. I had two TVs on the wall, so that was my little entertainment.
Sure.
I would sleep, eat, wake up. My first client was at 5 a.m. I would wake up around 3 o'clock, put everything together, go to 24, take a shower, brush my teeth,
Yep.
and come back and the client is waiting or I'm early,
Yep.
and you would never know that I was sleeping in that studio for the
That's
first 3 months.
amazing. So where did you get all the equipment when you first opened?
So my first location, it was more of class atmosphere.
Okay.
So it wasn't like the personal training facility that I have now with all
Yep.
the equipment. So I had a few pieces, but that location I didn't have a lot of machines,
Yeah.
so I didn't want a lot of machines. A lot of want to take up a lot of space.
Yep.
I just had the things that was needed,
Sure.
so yeah, that was more just open class atmosphere, hit cardio base
Yeah.
versus more than just weight training versus what I do
And
now,
were you
so
using the skills that you learned when you were playing football, or where did you learn the skills to teach the girls all those moves and stuff?
you know what? I used to watch a lot of, I don't know if you ever heard of a guy called Charles Glass.
Yeah,
So he, yeah, he's a legend. He's a legend when it comes to personal training.
that's awesome.
He's a legend. So I will watch a lot of his videos. I will watch a lot of
Yep.
YouTube videos, and do a lot of research on Google.
Yeah. No, that's
A
great.
lot of research
I
on
mean, why
Google, and
not? The information's available, right?
yeah, and I was doing a personal training for a while, before I got my own location. So I
Sure.
was going from city to city, Lakewood, Long Beach, Inglewood, anything up the 105. Like I was moving around, and I lived in
Dude,
Long
you're
Beach.
hustling. That's awesome.
I was hustling. I was hustling, man. I
So
was
speaking
hustling.
of which, when did you start with the jet skis?
So I started doing the jet skis back in 2000. Well, I purchased my first jet ski in 2022.
Okay.
So I was doing some acting. I started doing some acting back in 2015,
Cool.
and I was getting like super, super small gigs. And this is when I first opened my business. And
Yep.
I was like, you know what? I can't take time away from my business.
Right.
I'm trying to do the acting thing, but I'm also trying to run this business. So I had to let one go.
Yep.
And since I put my heart and soul and everything into the business, I really believed in that. Not that I didn't believe in the acting, but this was a little more important right now
Sure. Sure.
due to income. So I did acting 2015. I stopped for a while because I wasn't getting big gigs. I was
Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
small gigs. I was getting paid like $200, $300, and it was like I can't do it. I'm
Yeah.
sorry,
No, you can't
can't.
sustain that and pay bills.
Yeah, I can't. So I got my first big gig. My agent reached out to me back in 2020, and she's like, "Hey, I got a gig for you. It's a Home Depot commercial. It's for the 4th of July. You're going to be in the background with your wife." And I'm like, "Cool,
Yeah.
perfect." So I went out to the location, this huge mansion, beautiful mansion.
Yep.
Went to the backyard probably for 4 hours, shot the film. It was pretty cool. But from that Home Depot commercial, they cut me a $14,000 check. And I was getting residuals each month for about a
Yep.
year.
Sure.
So I took that 14,000 and purchased my first ski.
There we go.
So I was like, you know what? I want to do something with this. So I rode a jet ski prior to that. And I was like, you know what? A buddy of mine that I rode his jet skis, he kind of broke some numbers down. I was like, you know what? Let me do that. So I
Yeah.
purchased the first ski. And then after I purchased the first ski, I would just do more joy riding than anything and
Yeah.
just
Sure.
get the feel for it. And then the following year, I was like, you know what? Let me get two more. And it just snowballed and kept it going. So I used that 14 to get me the jet skis, and that paid itself plus more.
That's
You know,
amazing. I mean, you're unbelievable. Just taking that passion for something and then thinking about it in a way that you can sort of turn a living out of it. You're
yeah,
unbelievable.
yeah. No, I appreciate that.
Yeah, of
I
course.
appreciate that.
So what else do you do for fun? I mean, it seems like you're living the life in the gym with the jet skis.
You know what? Everyone asks that, especially my brother. He's like, bro, what do you do for fun? I tell people all the time, you know what? My fun is really creating something. I like
Yeah,
to really create things and build it. And then once I've accomplished it, it's like, okay, cool. What's next?
sure.
What's the next thing? So
So
I'm
what do
not
you
the
think is
person that,
next for you?
what's the next thing for me right now?
Yeah,
You know what? I'm looking to open a self-service dog washing place.
nice.
So I'm looking into that right now. I think I found a location,
You could make a
but it's
mint down here in the South Bay. There are so
I'm
many
sure I could.
dogs that need a
Yeah.
bath.
Yeah, it's just you got to get all the regulations
Yeah,
and the
sure.
city to you gotta comply with the rules and make sure it's okay to dig in the area because they
Yeah,
have to put water fountain,
yeah.
the water. So we have to find a location that's allowing those things to happen.
That's
So
awesome. That is
But
a
yeah, that's
great idea.
yeah,
So, another question. What's the best trip that you've ever taken?
the best trip that I've ever taken. The best one that just automatically came right to me was on my 35th birthday, one of these years. I went to Miami.
Nice.
It was with a group of friends of mine that I consider brothers.
Yep.
We went to Miami and just enjoyed it. It was just peaceful to get away with some fellas for a few days because
Yeah.
I'm not used to that. I'm used to being around women 24/7 and dealing with their personalities.
That's right.
So just get away and then just enjoy that. A bunch of group of guys
Nice.
just to sit there and talk and have man to man conversation and talk about life. And we rented an Airbnb, and the Airbnb in the back of it had a like a I, was there a pool back there? I can't remember if there was a pool, but I know there was a barbecue grill.
Nice.
We would just grill and go live on Instagram and
Yeah.
just enjoy it. So that was probably one of my best trips with a group of friends. And I don't really do a lot of traveling, so I told myself, you know what, I
Yeah.
need to start doing a little bit more.
That's great.
'Cause
No, that Miami's a great spot.
yeah, I love Miami.
So, another question I want to ask you is what is the funniest or strangest question a stranger has asked you about being disabled? One for that.
I don't know if it's funny or strange. I have so many questions. One of them was, of course, can you have sex?
Yep.
That's always a question. Can you have sex? Can you walk? You know how my legs are spasm
Yeah,
sometimes,
yeah,
and
sure.
people will see the spasms. Like, oh, you're about to walk. You're about. I'm like, no, that's involuntary. But like, no, if your legs are moving, you should be able to walk. I
Yeah,
said, I get it. I understand, but that's totally different. This is just a spasm. It's not me
that's
actually
right.
doing so. So yeah, I've had things, nothing too crazy, but yeah, I would probably say I think that's more curiosity than
Yeah,
anything.
that's
When
just
it comes to
natural
the sex part.
curiosity.
Yeah,
But it's
yeah,
totally common. I've gotten that many times.
all the time,
Absolutely.
all
Now,
the
I
time.
like to close these episodes with a really weird question, which is
Uh,
if I were to clone you and there were two Brian Williams in front of me, what
Wow.
question would I ask to reveal the real Brian Williams?
I'm a Gemini, right? So
No.
you
So
know
there
I'm
are
a
two of you.
Oof, that's a good question. That is a really good question, and I'm trying to think of an answer to reveal the real me. Ooh, I like to. So when I sleep, I
Yep.
have this thing where I hold the edge of the pillow
Yes.
and I kind of flip the edge and kind of just flicker it at the ends. I don't know why I do
Yeah.
that, but it like puts me to sleep. Is I don't know what that is,
Nice.
but yeah, so that would be something that only I would know. So you have to say like I don't know how the question would
How you get
come
yourself
about.
to sleep.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. How do you put
Awesome.
yourself to
That's I
sleep?
might have to try that.
I don't know what it is. It's
Hey
stimulating though. It's
man,
just the edge of the pillow.
whatever works these
Ever since
days.
I was a little boy, that's always happened.
That's cool. That's cool. Well, listen, Brian, I can't thank you enough for taking the time. Just in the brief moments that we've been together, I think you're amazing. You're a great guy. I look forward to hanging out more with you. But thanks again for being on the podcast.
No, absolutely. I appreciate you even inviting me.
Yeah, man, you're the
Thank you.
best. And everybody
Thank
get out there, get to the gym, get on a jet ski. I'm going to put
man,
links to
absolutely.
all of your operations on the video.
No, for sure. Absolutely. I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
Brian.